My name is Sheryl Matsuoka, the president and CEO of the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association and the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. Thank you so much for joining me here on Restaurants of Hawaii, the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association's podcast channel. We have a great conversation today. I've got three great guests, and these guests, actually, I spent all yesterday with them, so we got to really know each other really well. They are our allied members, and it's the allied members that really support the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association and our restaurant tours and food service industry. Today, we're going to be talking about how, as an allied member, it's critical because you support so many hospitality sectors. We're going to dive down into membership, how membership opens doors, and building lifelong business and friendship relationships, networking opportunities that offer so many great conversations and great connecting that it's invaluable. We have galas such as the one last night, our Hall of Fame, our golf tournament, which is, of course, epic. It's pretty much sold out a month in advance. And coming up soon is our legislative meet and greet, where you get to actually shake hands and meet a lot of our government officials. Through volunteering and supporting the Hawaii Restaurant Association as a volunteer is how you get to be involved with our community, our food service community. So what I'd like to do is have my guests introduce themselves. Can I first start off with Rory? Rory, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your company.
Hi, I'm Rory Brandt. I'm with Waikīkī Payroll Service. I've been in business since 2013, and we do full service payroll and HR administration for restaurants and all businesses alike. So we have our kind of hands in a little bit of everything from onboarding to benefits administration, as well as payroll and all kinds of things. So I'm just happy to be here and happy to join you on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do too for the Hawaii Restaurant Association, Rory. It's greatly appreciated. So now I'm going to go to Jenna. Hey, Jenna, how are you?
Hi, Sheryl. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your podcast.
Thank you. Could you share a little bit about First OnSite and what you do there, and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jenna. I'm with First OnSite Property Restoration. We've been in the business for over 20 years. We started off as a mom and pop kind of shop with carpet cleaning, and now we've expanded to commercial properties, retail, restaurants, banks, you name it. We're there to support you folks in the case that an emergency happens. So fire, floods, emergency board up, we're there for you folks.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenna. Russ, my Iceman, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company?
Hello, my name is Russ Sumida. I'm the president of AdStreamz, Inc. We're a social media marketing business. And we just recently launched a project called the Hawaii Foodie Club that is helping connect foodies and restaurants and helping restaurants vet influencers. And I'm super nervous about doing this. Never done something like this before. So thank you, but no thank you, Sheryl, for this opportunity to be on.
Talking stories with Sheryl. The reason I call Russ my Iceman is members and subscribers and followers. We have a big golf tournament, and you would not believe how much ice we use on the course. You know, we have 8 restaurants. We had at the time, I want to say 15 beverages offering, and we needed a lot of ice. My poor Russ, I actually literally stuck him with the ice. He was in that ice chamber. It's like a little walk-in freezer. He was handing out ice all day long at my golf tournament. So that's the reason why I nicknamed him that. And everybody laughed because when I say Iceman, they know who I'm talking about.
And I failed at that job because we ran out of ice. We still had to go and get ice.
You did again?
Yeah. So many golf tournaments. I don't know why. It's just it gets hotter every year. The ice melts faster, but yes, I'm so sorry. That's not your fault. That's my fault. But yeah, it's always fun, right? When we have these kind of stories about what happens behind the scenes, because the golfers, they're so like, right, Rory? That we ran out of ice. They
You just make it work.
just keep playing and having fun.
Yeah.
So let's talk about last night. Okay, so last night was our 16th annual Hall of Fame. Almost 500 people, like right under 500 people were in the room, and it was an epic event. Jenna, when I have so many calls, texts, I was at a meeting just this morning, and so many people said, I heard your gala last night was amazing. They were like, everyone's talking about the food and all of the beverages and everything that went on. I just want to really acknowledge Jenna, who was our volunteer chairwoman, who really helped us organize the volunteers, which is a huge lift. So Jenna, through being an allied member, your opportunity is to volunteer. How has volunteering benefited your business and your network?
Oh, wow. Well, being an allied member empowers me to support and advocate for our restaurant community. Personally, I find it rewarding to be a part of a collective effort that aims to uplift local businesses and helps with the educational efforts for our future leaders. Being an allied member has also given me the opportunity to volunteer for various events where I was able to make lifelong connections and also be a resource to those that need services in property restoration.
Nice. And thank you for all that you did. You know, it was a huge event, and volunteers are so needed when you have that kind of an event. Now, the other chairperson was logistics, which is moving around so many moving parts, right, Rory? Rory was not only spent with us till last night till 10 o'clock, but we also this morning, he met everybody over at our storage locker to put everything away and store it until our next event. So thank you, Rory.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's a full locker room.
I know, for all that you do, Rory. Thank you. So how did volunteering and participating with an event like the Hall of Fame, how does that really help, right? As an allied member of your business?
Yeah, you know, I get to see the behind the scenes of, you know, the food service industry and what you all do and how we can help with the industry. I know everyone is kind of busy in their day-to-day lives, and we take a couple times, you know, a year to slow down and just have a good time. You're there to, you know, celebrate each other, celebrate the success of the last year. And it's kind of a genuine time to, you know, just slow down. You know, I know personally, me and my busy day-to-day life, you're not going to run, you know, into all these people that you really want to, right? So it's an event and, you know, time that we can just sit there and, you know, you have the time to sit there and talk with someone and have this conversation, you know, not just, hey, I'm Rory, here's my business card, you know, you can talk about something else, right? And I find that really valuable that we can do that. And, you know, participating in events like this gives you a chance to, you know, for me, I'm a business owner, but I work, you know, with people remotely. So working with a group or team of people like this is something that I don't get to do day to day. So it's something that I also really cherish, getting that contact with people, because I'm behind a computer or I'm talking with someone, you know, in email most of the day. So I really, you know, find it really entertaining and really just a good way of like being part of something more than just my business.
Nice, Rory. Thank you. And you're so impactful. I mean, he was the one up front greeting everyone as they entered the reception area, right? And so every year, Rory, that's your state right there. Yep. So Russ, this was your first Hall of Fame?
Yes, it was.
Oh my
And
gosh.
my first golf tournament.
First, the Hawaii Restaurant Association. And you know, because you were there and you helped us actually start getting all of the reels ready, right? The reels restaurants and everything. So how was participating in this gala, how did that help and expand your network or expand your connections with the restaurants and the food service industry?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I think I'm exactly the opposite of what Rory just said. Like, to me, people are icky. Like, I don't want to deal with people. I don't, if I can sit behind my computer and do what I do, which I do most of the times, I don't mind talking to people online. Like, I could, I have no problem engaging that way. But in person, if I were to just have to go to a networking event, I probably wouldn't do it. But, being part of a team, volunteering to do a specific task or have a job out there to do gets me out there. So for me, that was kind of the reverse advantage of going to events like that, right? I also met Luke at the golf tournament, and it's hard. He's a hard dude to miss, obviously. But he's probably the first networking type connection that I made, especially through HRA. But for me, I think the real opportunity oh, wait, speaking of stuff, I may be going off script, but see, I got this from the golf tournament, Joe.
Oh,
Which it went up on my refrigerator. So if you're wondering if this works, now I don't own a restaurant, so I may not be your exact target, but I'm fully aware of your business now.
We service everyone, Russ.
So-
Don't worry about it.
There you go. So that your relationship with HRA works because we made that connection. Now whether or not I kind of hope to not need you in a way for certain stuff, but I'm aware where I was not aware of your business prior to going to the tournament, prior to this relationship with HRA. And then the other part I find as an advantage, and I experienced this last night, was, Kyotaku Restaurants is a client of ours.
Mhm.
And so by being at the event and volunteering for the event, I kind of solidified that relationship or made it a little bit stronger because, Tom was there and he was very appreciative of my support of HRA and I think in general, just that relationship kind of helps with some credibility with some of the other members or non-members, just restaurants in general.
You're so right. You're so right. Because Tom did mention that he did see you, right? And then when the restaurateurs do see you folks out there volunteering, they want to take note and they want to thank you, especially because, as you know, Tom is a past president a couple times and currently a board of director. So you're so right that they are watching and they're noticing and they want to thank the volunteers that last night so special. So that's
It was.
one of the stories I heard today, guys. It was Tambra, who was one of our honorees last night. She was inducted into the Restaurant Hall of Fame, and she said she was so starstruck. She said Russell Hata himself walked up to her, and he congratulated her, and then he introduced himself, and she said, "Russell, everybody knows who you are. You don't have to introduce yourself." But she said, "Sheryl, if I was never honored, I would have never have gotten an opportunity to meet the man, Russell Hata." And she said, "I thanked him for the $1 million that he has." So we started the Hata and Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association Endowment Fund, and he pledged $1 million. And so she said she knows that that legacy is going to live on, and she thanked him. And she said that he even came up to her and talked to her. She was so starstruck today. She's still starstruck. When she looked at me, she said, "I can't believe." But that's what events do, right? It gives you, Russ, an opportunity to speak with Tom Jones in a social environment, and he gets to see what you're doing. For Rory has a story. He met Luke, the same guy we're talking about, 6'5" Luke, at our golf tournament. And what did Luke do?
Well, first of all, I don't meet many people taller than me. So when I meet someone taller than me, I gotta go say hi. And so, it was funny as I talked to Luke, and it's something like I said earlier, is you won't have a chance to sit down and talk to someone, most of the time. And I had a chance to sit down with him and talk to him and realize that I'd met him when he was in high school and I was a former UH volleyball player, and we would help out with, athletic teams and stuff like that. So I helped out playing against him at Punahou with basketball or something like that. I'm not a football player, but he played basketball for a little bit. And so I realized who he was right away. And so we had that connection, but I don't think I would have ever been able to, meet him probably face to face, maybe see him walking by at some other networking event, but, working with someone, you get a chance to sit there and talk with them. And so I worked with Luke, and just after that first day, he called me the next day, I got, boom, I got 2 or 3 clients that you're perfect for, that I want you to work with. And then we end up getting them set up and going. And then, small world as it is, she is Ryan Tanaka's tenant, small world like that. So even with her, I've talked to her about getting her involved in Hawaii Restaurant Association and in maybe the NIL stuff and feeding, the players and stuff like that. So, those little connections all of a sudden sprout out everywhere and get your mind going. And so, you never know where it's going to come from, but you end up meeting people here.
Exactly. You never know when you meet somebody, right, at a golf tournament or a Hall of Fame or a legislative meet and greet, one of the HRAs, who's going to call you and say, hey, I may know somebody who needs your services. I've referred people to Jenna because I have real estate investment network. And so I've told them, right? So it doesn't have to definitely absolutely come from the restaurant industry, but people who have a situation where they need that, whether it's mold, right, or water damage, smoke, right? That's what Jenna does. So thanks, Russ, for keeping her magnet on your refrigerator. That's awesome.
Well, you want to make sure she knows that the money spent to pay for those magnets worked.
And Russ, you have to know, so many people have not seen you in so long. They said, what did they tell you last night? Where have you been?
Yeah. Or some of them I've met in person for the first time.
And they're your clients, or you?
No, just people we know each other online, because I'm in social media, right? So there's a number of people that I haven't seen Daryl in real life for the longest time. Hawaii's Best Kitchens, right? So I've seen him online. We chat online, but never see each other in person.
Wow.
Practically never.
Right.
Heck, I saw the ex-principal of Kalani High School there that I hadn't seen in years. I mean, not the principal when I was there, but he was my kids went to Kalani too, and he was the principal there. There were well, look at Lloyd, who I bump into on the way in, ends up he's your friend or your classmate or whatever it is too. Yeah, so small island, right?
My Kalani Falcon brother, right? And so he volunteers at our events. And I'm just grateful that we have so many volunteers, right, Russ? And someone else told me, hey, I haven't seen Russ in so long. I'm glad you have him out here. So I guess, Russ, I'm going to take you out of ice golf. I'm going to put you on the course to do some video and reels for us, because I think I wasted you in the ice cinder blocks, right?
I do have some ideas for what we could possibly do at the next golf tournament, but I'll talk to you about that later.
Nice. So, as an allied member is basically a member who supports the food service industry. They're not a restaurant, they're not an eatery, they're not a coffee shop, but they are a supporter of our industry. And so, example, Rory, who does payroll, right? Waikīkī payroll, right? Bookkeeping. And then Russ, who does social media, which is everybody needs social media today. And then, of course, Jenna, who, when you do have a situation where you need somebody trusted that will respond and is very, 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 she's very detailed. She has excellent customer service. These are just an example. So if you're could be an allied member out there and you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the Hawaii Restaurant Association and we can explain to you how that works because there's so many services. Last night, Rory, at the Hall of Fame, there was a gentleman, he does awnings and tents, and he walked up to me and he goes, I'm going to join the Hawaii Restaurant Association. And I said, great, because some of our restaurants need umbrellas and awnings and tents. So yeah, that's a great service that you could provide. And, you know, our allied members are the ones who support the food service industry, and they're a huge part of that. So is there anything that I missed? Let me go back around and say, is there anything, Jenna, that you would like to speak about before we close the show down?
If you have a chance, volunteer. It's huge. You make great connections. You network not just with the people that are chefs or restaurant owners. You're also meeting people like Russ and Rory or myself that support and help the restaurant and food service industry. So get out there, volunteer, be a part of the Hawaii Restaurant Association. You won't regret it.
Yes, and it's like even Russ, who's not even a restaurateur, who's supporting Jenna.
He's Iceman.
Right? It needs Jenna to do, you know, water, right? Water removal. But yes, we definitely want to mention that that's the purpose of today's show, is that all of these allied members support the food service industry, and we want to support each other. Hawaii is such a small place. Our island is so small. And if you watch, we're going to put another past podcast link down below. So if you go to that podcast, that's all about the events that we're talking about in more detail. So, because that's really the fun part, when Jenna, Russ, and Rory get to come to our events and actually see, right, what it was like. Jenna, last night, is that what, because that's the second Hall of Fame you've been to, right?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I had a great time. Food was wonderful. We couldn't have done it without the staff and the volunteers to make this such a memorable experience for everybody.
And at the end of the night, Jenna was barefooted. I was exhausted. Hey, Jenna.
I was taking off my heels. I was like, I'm done. Let's go.
My feet did hurt a little bit.
Oh yeah, yours.
Okay. Oh my God. It was, and then I heard Russ's wife couldn't finish her last bite. Russ?
Yep. She definitely enjoyed herself, which is great because I don't eat that like fancy stuff. So yes, she definitely enjoyed herself. Thank you very much. Thank
you. And she tapped out, and Russ is like, one more bite there, and she's like, tapped out. So I'm glad she enjoyed herself. I heard so many people that the food last night was amazing. But, you know, every year I hear the same thing, guys. The food was amazing. The program was amazing. You know, the people being honored is amazing. And it's great to inform our industry of who these people are that have served our industry for a lifetime, right? Okay, Russ, last night was your first Hall of Fame. First was our first golf tournament. Now our Hall of Fame. After this, you're going to say, I have ideas for your next Hall of Fame.
No, because I haven't finished the ideas for this Hall of Fame yet that I captured a lot of stuff. I haven't gone back through it to actually put it together yet. So we'll see. But, you know, I will say that I thought the event was the right length. I don't know if that's politically correct to say, but it did, to me at least, it didn't feel too long. It didn't feel overly rushed. You know, I mean, that honestly was like, oh my God, how, you know, here we go, a Hall of Fame event. This is going to be like all night. We'll be out of there around 10 or something like that. What the heck did I volunteer for, right? But I think it actually, I don't know, I felt it was, and like Mel had enough time to eat and I didn't feel like, well, I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't do the kind of job you guys did. So maybe that's why I felt it was the right length. But for what I was doing, it was perfect.
I'm so happy. I get that feedback a lot, Russ, because people, especially you saw the attendees, right? You've got Governor Green, you've got First Lady Jamie, right? You've got all these people in the room who goes to so many events. And they said the same thing, Russ. You know, it was a quick program. Everybody was honored. Lots of information, lots of video, Russ.
Right.
The video. And the information was well received. And they all said the same thing. It's those long ones that get to be really kind of too much, but we try to keep it short. We try to keep it concise and yet provide everyone with an update of what the Hawaii Restaurant Association has been done, because, you know, that's what they're there for, to find out what we're doing. So yes, thanks.
One other aside I will say is I was very impressed that Governor stood in line for the food. I mean, I was kind of one, you know, he's governor. I mean, I wouldn't fault him if somebody did go and stand in line for him and bring him his food, but he actually stood in line and, you know, he engaged with everybody. He seemed genuinely happy to be there. So it's like, oh, this must be a good event because, you know, governor's not just here for his political, let me wave my flag kind of thing. It was like, oh, he's enjoying himself and engaging with people. That was kind of cool to me, you know?
And we want the governor and we want all of our attendees to go and talk to the chefs, because you know that we have the chefs standing there, right? Because you saw that part of the feature of the Hall of Fame to our members and subscribers is our chefs of Aloha. We had 14 chefs there last night. You actually, the chefs from all the restaurants actually serving you. So you have an opportunity to speak to the chef. Jason Peel from, you know, Namikaze, he himself is serving you. So we want the governor to go there and take Jason's hand and let it, you know, Jason meeting the governor, you know, getting his food was very impressive. Also, you got to know Russ, right? Because also looks up and there's Governor Green standing in the line. Oh.
Right.
So we do that. Yeah, we do that so that they, well, all the people, right, the attendees get to meet the chefs and the chefs get to hear from the public, because so many times you're a chef, you're in the kitchen and you don't get the feedback from the community. So when I tell you, he said, hey, I was just there last week. He goes, I heard you were, you know, in my restaurant, but he's not normally there, right? So it's always good to let them know that, you know, we're supporting them and to see like Governor and First Lady Jamie standing in line, right? Like, everybody standing in line. That's what it's all about. Russell Hopkins standing in line with Hata. Yes. So, Rory, anything else before we end the show? Did I miss anything?
You know, just one thing I always tell people when I talk about, or they ask me why I'm helping out with HRA, and it's just like really simple. Like, I like good food, you know, good people, a good drink, and a good time. And if all four of those things are happening, you know, why wouldn't I get involved? And, you know, if we do get some extra business on top of it, it's even better. But, you know, it's just kind of being supportive in something that I know, you know, it's been part of my family. At least my wife has been she was a server from 17 years old all the way through college and through her, you know, law degree. And we've been kind of in that industry. And so, you know, when you live with those people and be around them, you know, why not get involved and help the people that are your friends, you know? So it was a no-brainer for me to get involved. And, you know, even though I remember it took me like a couple months after my membership started to realize that I haven't done anything, I need to get involved. And I came and kind of just like, hey, I've been a member for almost a year and I never got involved yet. So we, you know, once I jumped in, it was, I can't stop, I don't think.
Sheryl won't let you.
I told him yesterday, I said, do some work. I'll text you as soon as I know what's happening, if I need printing picked up or whatever. And he keeps texting me, can I come now? Can I come now? No, Rory, wait.
I cleared my schedule.
My schedule. I can come now. I said, oh, come on down. Oh, you're the best, Rory. So good. But I just really want to thank my guests, not only for being my guest today, but for being valued members of the Hawaii Restaurant Association and for being volunteers and so active within the association. And through being involved, I know you'll be building many friendships like what Rory shared with Luke and what Russ shared and what Jenna shared. Many relationships that I'm hoping will be lifelong relationships for business and friendships. So again, this is the Restaurants of Hawaii podcast. Please like and share this video because that really helps our algorithm. And there will be another episode linked below, which is a link to our past episode about our events and how you can also get involved with the Hawaii Restaurant Association. So again, my name is Sheryl Matsuoka, the president and CEO of the Hawaii Restaurant Association and the Hawaii Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. The Hawaii Restaurant Association is the organization unifying, representing, and supporting the Hawaii restaurant and food service industry. Everyone, please remember, nourish connections, savor life, eat well, and live well. Thank you so much. I'll see you in our next episode.